Hello everybody and welcome to Mystery Monday. Hope everyone's well. I'm live on Facebook, and hi if you're watching the replay here or on YouTube. Thanks again for watching me tonight. My name is Lucia Byzantine and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. Okay, just let me know if you're watching because I'd love to say hi. Hi Lisa. Yes, we did get home just in time. We got home on Thursday night. And hi Rails, how are you? Okay, so promos first up. Promo that's still going is the designer series paper. There are 9 selected packs that are 15% off. And the other thing is, and I'll be using a couple of them tonight as well, or I can show you a couple of them tonight that I have used. And the other thing is the mini catalogue and celebration starts on August the 3rd. So if anyone would like either of the catalogues, please let me know and I can pop one in the mail to you. Now, tonight we're going to make a fancy fold and a 3D card all in one. And the best thing is it still fits in a C6 envelope. So the card that we're going to make tonight is called a Pinwheel Tower card. And I did see it and was actually quite in awe of it. So this is what I have done. So this is just the little base of it. And it just has this little tower in the centre. And all the card bits just come off like little arms off it. So what I'm going to do is show you how to make the basic shell of it. So this piece here, the only thing that you do have to remember is if you are going to post it, because you've already got 2 thicknesses of cardstock and 4 in some places when you're looking in the centre where the tower is, just be careful not to over embellish it or put too many layers on it. Because it will make it harder. Not harder, but it just won't go through the post as easily. It's the only thing. Kind of really don't know where to sit that so that you can see it because it's not really going to work anywhere. But what I did want to show you is what the bit of paper looks like. So what we have is an A4 piece of paper. And these are the bits that we are cutting out. So we are cutting it down the centre at 10.5 centimetres. Then that 10.5 on one side, we're just going to cut it in half at 14.85. And then the other section, we're going to cut into quarters. So that equals 7.4 centimetres. So what happens with that is one of these will be spare to use as embellishments or the cut out dies or anything, and one of these will be spare as well. So what we're actually using for the card are these bits here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out. I'll pop this back up again later as well so that you can see the measurements, because one of them does tell me where I'm scoring as well, so I will need to keep that next to me because otherwise I will forget because I've only made it a couple of times. So I have my paper trimmer here and I am using mint macaroon. I'm using mint macaroon is the paper, the cardstock. So my first cut is going to be to cut, and this is Australian, so it is an A4 piece of cardstock. So I am going to cut it in half lengthways, so that is 10.5. So now one of them I'm going to cut into half, which is where I would usually cut my cardstock when I'm making a card anyway. So that's 14.85 centimetres. So I have 2 pieces there at 14.85. And then this one I'm going to cut at 14.85. So it's in half. And then I'm going to cut it at 7.4. So that quarter I'll cut into 7.4, and then this quarter here I'll cut into 7.4. Okay, so you should have 4 pieces at 7.4 by 10.5 and 2 pieces at 14.85 by 10.5. So now, with one of these longer pieces, we are going to score it. So now I will show you where we're scoring. So I'm just going to take my cutting blade away. I'll pop it right at the top because we know what happens when that comes down accidentally. So our first score line, we're going to do at 1.85. So 1.85 and score. And then a 3.7. Score. 5.55 and score, and then 7.4 and then score. So 7.4 was our halfway line, and what I've done is quartered that as well. Okay, so everything's just virtually working on quarters for this card. Look, I'm sure there are other ways to cut this out as well. And different sizes. Like I said, the one I have done, I've just made sure that it will fit into one of our C6 envelopes. So what I'm now going to do is score along all of those lines. Okay. So what we're making here is the centre of our card and that tower. I'm actually burnishing, not scoring. I've already scored. Okay, so once I've done that, I'm just going to grab some tape. Now I have, you can use glue, you can use tape. I want it to be quite secure. So I have been using tape to make these boxes. These cards, sorry. I've not used glue. I'm sure the glue would still work fine. But like I said, I just like this because I just feel it's a little more secure when it's made up. Now, I am actually going to put some double-sided tape on next to all my score lines because I need it to make my tower in the middle, which you'll see in just a sec. But then I also need these bits of adhesive to stick all the little wings on as well. So I'll just go through. Now I hope if you're following along you can still see those score lines too, because like I said, that's probably the most important part of this, is this centre part of the card. So I'll just finish doing this and I'll show you what I've been doing. So there are my score lines, and virtually I've just got 2 little bits of tape down each side. Okay, so what I'm now going to do is just take off that first section, the end section there. I'm going to take the backs off. And fold it. So virtually I'm just wanting to get this bit over and stick that down. Okay, so that is giving us our little cube in the centre. Okay, and that's our tower built. Okay, now I've got to think about this a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to have our 3 little bits that we've got that are 10.5 by 7.4, and they're actually all going to sit off that tower. Okay, so the reason why we only need 3 of those is because 1 we have already made with the base of the card. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just start peeling off that double-sided tape again. And the easiest way I found to do this was to hold my card up and then slot this into place, because then it's all nice and even at the base. And I'm just pushing it against the card this way as well. Okay. So that's one. Take the next lot of tape off. It's quite a cute little card because you've got so many faces that you can actually embellish as well. Next one, and as you can see, they just all fold over. Okay, next one. I put him a little bit crooked, so I'm just going to fold the rest of that tape in a little bit. Okay, hold it up. So that is now the base of our card. So what we have now is a card that you can flip open to any page. Okay, and it should all sit nice and flat. So what I might show you is one that I have made up and decorated before I start decorating one, just so that you can see what we can do with it. Okay, so this one I've done the envelope and just put some of the designer series at the back, and this one I have used the In Good Taste designer series paper, and this is actually on the sale as well. So this was $37, it's now down to $31.45. I can't remember how many sheets you get, but you do get quite a few sheets in this one, more so than in the normal packs. So that would be the front of my card, where I've put the happy birthday. And I've just used a few different dies. So I've used some dies from the artistic set, the painted labels, and the Stitch So Sweetly. This little piece here I thought I could write on. And then I've just decorated some of the other pages. So it's kind of limitless, like you can do so much with these, and like I said, it fits in, when we get the right page, and it fits into that envelope beautifully as well. Just be careful if you've got anything overhanging that it doesn't overhang too much, because then it won't fit in. So that's one of the cards. So we'll just bring this one back now that you can see sort of what we're doing. And I have got a few things here that I have already made up. So when you're looking at your bits of designer series paper, you are looking at, these ones are 10.1 by 7 centimeters, and then, which we're going to go on the larger side, and then for the smaller side I have cut them at 10.1 by 5.1, and they will sit on that side. Okay, so, and I will also show you just how to decorate the back flap of the envelopes as well. So I might just quickly put a little bit of glue behind these and pop them onto one side of our card. And the papers I have used here are the hand penned, again, which are on our sale. So if you are wanting to order anything, please do. I have my shop just up the top here, and I do have a host code going for this month as well. If you order with the host code, you will go into the draw for a prize at the end of the month as well. Sorry, just losing my glue. And just make sure that this designer series paper is directional, so do make sure that you're adhering it the right way up as well. And again with this one, thank you, Joan. Yes, I'm very well, thank you. Just I've come back from visiting family, which was lovely. So we got to Tassie just before the lockdown, which was great. So I hope you're well. I'm not sure what part of the country you're in, but everyone that is in lockdown, I hope everyone's doing a whole heap of crafting. Would be a good thing to be doing now, I'm thinking. Now I've only cut out 3 of those because the other one I am just going to put some white, which I have forgotten to cut out, so I will just quickly do that. So the measurements I said for those ones are 10.1 by 5.1. So I think that's already 10 point, not quite, 10.1 by 5.1. So have you got any restrictions up in Queensland at the moment, Joan, or is everything just chuffing along nicely? Like I said, this white piece I'm just going to pop in just so I have somewhere to write. Now, I'm not a big writer, so I don't write a lot in my cards, but if you did want to write more in your cards, I'm putting it on the smaller side, but you could also make this side as your white, so you've got a larger space to actually write in as well. So now with these, I've just cut out some using the, and I can't remember what they're called, but they're the dies that go with the hand-penned petal set, if you can see those. So I've just used some of the dies and I have used some of the stamps as well, just to embellish the card a little bit. So this one's quite a cute, just little scallop to put on the bottom of this card. Just cut that end bit off. And also make sure it's straight, which it pretty much is. Okay, and then with this one here, I've cut it out. I have actually saved the insides of that flower and just used my blends to colour it in with. And just the one section, just for something a little bit different. So I did pop some double-sided tape just to keep those petals in. But I might just have to put a little bit of glue on that as well. Masks are a good thing to be wearing, I think, anyway, because they do help. I was telling family at home in Tassie that I don't think anyone in our family has had a cold last winter or this winter, but we've pretty much been wearing masks the whole time too. So, you know, as well as helping for COVID, I think they're helping with general health too. So it's got to be a benefit somewhere. It is a gorgeous set. I do love this set. I've been playing with it lots. I'm actually using this for my next class as well. So if anyone's interested in that, I will show you some cards at the end that I've made with that. Hi Paula, how are you? Are you guys still in Tassie or have you returned now? So this one, like I said, I'm not going to embellish them too much and put too many layers and things on them because I do want it to close easily enough. And once we put too many layers and too many embellishments, sorry, it will just make it harder for the card to close. Try not to get your glue to go all oozy too, because then when you close it over to the other side it will stick as well. So that was one. Where have I got all my other pieces? This one here is just really simple. I have just stamped it And I haven't even used the blends on this. I just used the aqua painters and the just the ink straight out of the ink pads, so that was super easy to do. I hope your trip's going well, Paula, and things are getting sorted. We had a lovely time. I just went with my son, with Cameron, and just spent time with family, which was really nice. We just decided that this year, when we can, we're just going to go over as often as we can, just so that we can catch up with people, because after a year of not seeing everyone in 2020, it wasn't good. So we just thought we'd try and get there as often as we can. So with this one, I've just stuck that down, and what I'm also going to do with this is just a hand-drawn line all the way around. If you can do that straight, that's great. If not, didn't realise how wobbly I would be when I've got people watching me. But it's not meant to be straight, it is just meant to be, and I can show you it's not straight. But just so it's got a little bit of an accent going round it. Like I said, nothing too fussy. But if anyone does make the card, please do put it up in the comments, because I would love to see what other people do with this card, because I do think it's a great little it's a great card. Like, you can just do so much with it. I'm missing a side somewhere. Oh, actually it's under here. I knew I was. So this is another stamp that I have used, and it's a two-step stamp. I don't know whether you can probably see from the back, the die actually cuts these little bits at the top as well. So you can probably notice it on the front a little bit. It's actually quite sweet. I do like that. So this one here, I'm just going to trim that so it's a bit straighter. I know it doesn't reach to the top, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to use it at the length that it is. So this is what was left over from the other piece that I had used. So instead of wasting it, I will just use it on this side. I'm just going to leave just a little bit of the cardstock showing down that side. Like, I've not used any dimensionals. You probably could actually. Just let me... Sorry, I might just grab my take a pic tool. And you know what? I've got some glue on the end of my take a pic tool. Yep, you can, Paula. Actually, that's a great idea. Probably better off poking them out from the back. And I do just, don't know whether you can see, they're just standing up that little bit. That's a great thinking. Thank you. So these, like I said, again, no dimensionals, just gluing them on. But you know what I might do now, because I do like that look. Be careful with your glue on these, because it will come out the holes, I reckon, too, as in out these little top bits. But I am, now that Paul has mentioned that, I think I'm going to poke them all out, because I really do like that look. I'm sure there are other demonstrators that probably know to do that already, but that's wonderful. There you go. Instead of me teaching you, you're teaching me. Thank you. That's why it's nice to get together sometimes and do things, because we all learn from each other. I might just pop a little bit of glue on that stem. But again, be careful, because that glue does get oozy. Sometimes I don't think it matters how careful you are, it does just ooze. Sorry if anyone's just tuned in, I'm just poking all the little petal bits of this flower out just to give it a little bit of a 3D effect. Because we're not using dimensionals or anything on this card, this is actually a nice little feature of the card then. Still going to try that little bit at the bottom, but I'll put a bit less this time and hope it doesn't ooze as much. And I might, do you know what I'm going to do? Just going to see if I can get the tiniest bit of glue. This is a recipe for disaster, I know. Just going to pop it behind there because I think it does need just a touch. There you go, and it worked. Don't just clean the end of your take a pick tool. Take a pick tool comes in handy for loads of things. It's a nice little addition to the set, isn't it, Rails? Like I said, I didn't even know as well. And again with this one, because it is so plain, just with the black again, I am just going to do that little line around it. And I think because I'm not putting a mount and adding more layers to the card, this is just a nice way of adding something to the card. Like I said, it just gives it that little bit more definition as well. I think we actually had this set in our pre-order, and I don't think I really thought much of it when I first saw it, but now that I've seen it being used lots, funny that you see things being used and you tend to like them more and more as you see them. So this is going to be my little, the front of my card at least. So I've just got one of the dies in the black cut out, which I'll pop in the centre. And I had, again, some leftovers. And it's nice just to be able to use things up sometimes. So I've just used the little bits I had left over in the white that I'm just going to pop in the corners as well. I'm just going to put a little bit. I'm going to pop that in the centre. And then these ones, like I said, just use them up. On the corners of the card. And this little one on the other corner. Probably haven't put the black one completely in the centre, but it's not a problem really. Now, I don't think my hand was quite so steady when I was doing those lines, but that's okay. Okay, so I've stuck those down. So what I'm going to do with these end bits is turn it over and just snip those little bits off, and the same with this one. Just snip those bits that are overhanging off. Okay, and then you've got the It's Your Day. Now, because this is so, there's so many different layers, again, I think I'm just going to use the double-sided tape, just so it adheres a little bit better, I think. So this will virtually be the front of the card then. Usually you'd probably put that up on dimensionals, but like I said, I just don't want to use too much layering in this because it will start getting quite thick. Okay, and I think this is probably our last side now too. So that would be like our front page, right, whatever in there, and then we've got two other pages. They're just a bit pretty, and it just stands up nicely. And like I said, you can flip it over. It's almost a bit like a waterfall, like you can flip it over to any side then too, which is gorgeous. So there's that one, there was that one, and the other one I made was just something a little bit different. Oh, let me show you the envelope as well. That was the other thing I was going to do. So for the envelope, now these are our Stampin' Up envelopes, just in basic white. They're C6 size here in Australia, so you get 40 of them for $13. They're on page 136. So what I'm going to do is just pop some glue on the flap of my envelope. Try and make sure that you're putting the glue fairly close to the edge, just so when it goes through the machines it doesn't flick it off. And then what I'm going to do is what I did with the card as well. I'm going to pop that way and pop this way, just so that they're both flush on this bottom side. Press it down. Make sure all of that glue has stuck. And then it's just a matter of manually cutting it out and following the shape of that envelope flap. Around. And that's your flap. So with this here, before I pop it in with my papers again, I'll just cut those two little end bits off, so I've got a nice little piece to still use. And there you go, there's your envelope, ready to go with the card as well. which is a nice little addition. Like I said, it's nice to pretty up the envelope. You could either do the back, the other thing you could do is stamp the front as well, would be nice. So like I said, there's those two cards, and then I also made one. Now this one's not using designer series paper. This one I've actually used the pierced blooms, and thank you very much, Megan. I have been borrowing these, and these are just a whole heap, and there's a ton of them, a whole heap of flowers. When I say a ton, there are 25 pieces in this. So that's where I got my little label. But there's just flowers and leaves and one stem as well in that. So what I did with this one is this little card. So I have used, I'm pretty sure it was polished pink and just jade on this one. And that's the one I'm going to write on. I could write on any of them in this one because I did leave them fairly plain. And then I did just use a mask on that one as well. And again, just a little pinwheel card again. So it is just called a pinwheel tower card. But like I said, I would love to see what you come up with, because you could do all sorts of things. I do think it's just a pretty little card, and even kids' cards in this would be great, because there's so many things you could do, and a kid would love interacting with this kind of a card as well. So like I said, this one here, sorry, can't see it very well. This one here was the pierced blooms, and it was, I think I did say, just jade and polished pink and the black. Remember not to use too many layers in them, just so then they're not too thick when you pop them in your envelopes. Thank you very much, Joan. So that's kind of about it. I've said about the hostess code. If you do an order, please use it, and you'll go into the draw for a prize at the end of July. The new caddies, new catalogues and celebration is coming out, so if you're interested in a catalogue, please just let me know in the comments, or reach out to me and I'll be able to send you one of those. The other thing that I will show you is my next card class, which, like I said, I've used the hand penned as well, and these are the cards that we shall be making. And this class is on the 13th of August, and it is $30. With that $30, everything is included. And we have got a triple cube pop-up card as well that we'll be learning to make. So there are all the cards there, and again, if you're interested in this, just let me know in the comments as well. But like I said, beautiful, beautiful set, the hand penned. I do like that. So that's it for today. I'm pretty sure I haven't forgotten anything. Let me know about the catalogues or the class. That would be wonderful. And otherwise, I will see you next Monday. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you all have a lovely week. Thanks a lot. Bye.